Hello everyone. Of course, I know this is my first kind of activity on any of my pucks, balls, and body slams socials in general. Really, I've made a few posts here and there on Instagram. I haven't done anything on Twitch since the Royal Rumble at the start of February. I haven't made any updates to my TikTok at all, and of course, my last YouTube video was my introduction maybe 2 3 months ago. I've just had a lot going on personally. I've not really had the chance to sit and commit to this. I said it was going to be a side project from the start, um, and it's just to help with university. And just this is kind of that chance where I'm going to try and give updates on things and um, just kind of go from here. And if there's any questions, obviously there's the comment section. If anyone watches this and have any questions, you just put them in the comments and just say whatever it is you're thinking. So I'm going to start with my main purpose of this video is a content update. So of course I'll try and update the Instagram when I can. And the TikTok, I'm just trying to think of content to put on TikTok really. If anyone has any ideas, that'd be brilliant. For like what you guys want to see, I've got people that subscribed. It's really not. I don't think anyone's really bothered by it. It's just more for support purposes. But if there is anyone there that's subscribed that actually wants to, see a certain form of content, I would appreciate it if someone said, um, this is what we want to see, as it be. And like I said, the Instagram, I'll try and update. I'm going to start when I potentially. So with university, I was an applicant day the other day. I've got to run through what my course is going to be like, what I'm going to learn, and from that, I'm probably going to try. I think pucks, balls, and body slams will be more of a it'll be a more central focus, and it'll be something I can put a bit more time into while I'm at university to help with my course anyway. So, but I'll start for like Instagram. I'll make my own graphics and stuff like that. Like when there's news coming out, so then I'm not just getting pictures off the internet, or I'm not just getting another Instagram account's picture and then screenshotting it and then doing that. I need to actually get um, my own original um, content ideas, my own original like posts and whatnot. Um, and anyway, that's me going off track, but that's kind of an update there. That looking towards September, if everything goes correct and everything goes well, I'll be at university, and this whole project will be a bit more up and running and a lot better. But the main thing I was coming on here to say is my next set of videos or whatever it may be, when it will maybe, I don't know when or where. It's in the very early stages, but I've spoken to um, the owner of Contract Professional Wrestling. It's an independent Northumberland-based professional wrestling business that run out of Bedlington. They do shows once a month. They do wrestling classes. I myself have been to one of their classes. I've never been able to go back. There's been a lot of things there personally which have prevented me going back. But I have been to some of the shows. I think I went to two last year, or three potentially, and I haven't been since. But yeah, I've been to a few shows, and it's really good. It's good to see some up and coming wrestlers that a lot of people aren't going to know about because it's a very niche audience. You see the same kind of people there week in week out. It's in a very small town. It's not on a national scale. They've got limited advertisement. They use Facebook and they use social media. They get booked at like the other day they went up to Air Scotland and they did a show with Monster Events, which is like a monster truck show. Prior to that, they did an event. I can't remember who it was with. Forgive me. Down country, and it was like a week long event, and that's a good hotspot for their audience there, for them to grow. And um, I just so what I'm going to be doing interviews with some of the roster, with the owner himself. His real name's Brian Bell. His ring name's Brian Creed. He's a brilliant man. But I will be speaking with him and some of the roster, and kind of that'll be to help me get some good content. I'll get some interviews, so and so forth, and help me build my portfolio while also giving Contract a platform to give Contract a platform to help themselves grow, and um, hopefully, I don't know if it will because I haven't got the biggest following, but I hope them doing these interviews with me, potentially, if it helps them build onto something bigger with somebody else, or it helps us both grow mutually, and that would be ideal. That'd be the best situation, but of course, you just don't know. But it's always worth a try. And um, I myself have messaged Brian. Brian's responded. Brian has agreed to the idea. It's just in terms of a when, how, when kind of when, how, where situation. So whether we do it at some kind of mutual place where it's not far travel for everyone that lives around that area or whatever it may be, because that's what it's all about. Whether it's even online, it's just on a call. I don't know. Personally, I think for me it would be better to do it in person, but that's just me. I can't, I can't really. It's not all about me. It's about what the guests want as well. Um, but it's something I've wanted to do for a while. When I thought about it, when I set up this account, and I was like, oh right, well I don't have ties to Contract per se. I'm not particularly close with any of them, but I've spoken to them. There's a certain wrestler in particular I've had a few conversations with. Brian himself I've had a few conversations with. He's a very, very, very nice man, and I personally believe that it will be a great idea if it can go forward. It'll, as I've said, it'll help me bolster up my digital portfolio a bit better, and get this account up and running a bit more. And in terms of Contract, I just hope it does what I wanted to for them, as in give them a bigger platform. Maybe people start going to the shows more, because it's not an expensive experience either. It's £10 per person. It's £30 for a family of four. So you're basically buying 3 tickets and getting one free if there's four of you. I'd say it's pretty family friendly. If you've got kids out there that you want to take kids to like a local wrestling show, it's not like it's just a random throwaway show. That each show interlinks with each other to the previous show, and you've got to be following. It's like when you watch a TV show, you can't pick it up halfway through. It's the same with look at like WWE, AEW, New Japan. They've all got their storylines that are always running. And Contract does that. They're supplying these young wrestlers that are trying to make get a big break in the business and get themselves higher up into a more recognized role. It's in steps. It's getting into that national scale, and then they do have links with other other companies in the industry. Like there was one in particular that they brought over called Fight Back Wrestling from Germany. They've got a link with I can't. I do apologise. I don't remember the name of the company, but it was run by Sir Mo, former WWE professional wrestler, passed away last year, but he has very close ties with Brian and Brian's wife Lindsay, and or partner. Apologies. And yeah, it's they've got them links, and they've travelled abroad. Last year I went to a show, and then they came back like 2 days prior, and they'd been in Dallas in Texas because of that link with Sir Mo and his wife Denise. And it's always trying to do that. That's always a good starting point to get internationally travelled and stuff. But also it's to do with their they want to go onto a more, when I say national scale, yes they've travelled, but you want to go to them slightly more notable promotions, because Contract themselves is they run the shows. The shows are great, but it's still they've got the trainee shows as well, where there's people that are trained to be wrestlers that get that experience in front of a crowd. But you want them bigger crowds like the likes of Rev Pro and North Wrestling and all them kind of bigger indie promotions in the UK. Potentially where you want to move over as well, then you start getting noticed by like the bigger companies and some of the companies in America, like Major League Wrestling, Combat Zone Wrestling, Game Changer Wrestling. All the big ones over there in the indies, and then eventually, the dream for everyone is either, WWE, AEW, New Japan, or even TNA, the big four in professional wrestling. And it's important for these youngsters to have that chance, and that's why personally to me I really, really, really like Brian's initiative that he has. He was called Assassin for many years. He's trained some great professional wrestlers. He's worked with some great professional wrestlers. He wrestled the late great Lionheart, unfortunately passed away some years back. He trained Pac or Adrian Neville or Neville, whatever you may know him as. He was in WWE from 2013 to 2019, and he's now in AEW as part of the Death Riders. So he has that, you know what I mean? He's worked for 25 years in the industry, and the man is an absolute merit to the industry. He really is. He's a brilliant, brilliant man, and he's even currently he has the odd few matches here and there, and he recently broke his neck, and he's still come back like nothing happened. He's a genuinely top individual, and I really do personally appreciate Brian giving me this opportunity to do this. And once we can discuss it between us and decide where it's going to be, which wrestlers we'll be interviewing, and so on and so forth, and how Brian would like it to go. I'm giving that control to Brian. It's a collaborative effort. What he wants from it, he can let me know where it is, as it may be, and yeah, pretty much that is something I'm looking forward to, and that'll be probably the first big project with Pucks, Balls and Body Slams, on a video level scale. But as for anything else, there's not really a whole lot I can say. I've had some, like Instagram. I'm trying to keep the interactions up. I've made posts. I've posted polls on certain videos, on certain posts. Apologies. Just trying to get that interaction with the followers and so on and so forth. If some of you may have seen as well, I am part of a. It's very similar to Fantasy Premier League, but it's with professional wrestling called Fantasy Faction. It's run by this individual. I don't know his name, but of course he is called Fantasy Faction. He's the owner of it, and he does it all by himself. While also, he's got a newborn, and he's trying his best to do that. While we've also got myself and other content creators in the wrestling YouTube space that are taking part in this. And again, it's just a fun game, but it's something to you say that you're still active and that. I still do that. He's busy developing an app for it. You check on the app, you can see the scores, the rosters, all the other factions that you've got. So myself, and then a few names I can name are the A2K Wrestling and a couple others. But also, just to move away from that, I've also, as a final point before I kind of wrap things up, there's also my sponsor. It's not a paid sponsorship. It's a free one for new up and coming streamers to join. It's called Dubby Energy. I need to try and plug them a lot more. I'm trying to work out try and make this a bit more professional. But this right now is just me talking to a camera. I'm not. I've got a long way to go with it. And with Dubby Energy, if I mention them and so on and so forth, but you could use my code. My code is Pucks, Balls and Body Slams. It's the full name, all in capitals, joined together. And you get 10% off at checkout if you purchase Dubby Energy. I'm going to be honest. I've never personally purchased anything from Dubby. I do look to in the future potentially, and I can give an honest review of it before anyone else wants to buy it, or if you want to do it now, by all means. But it's not expensive either. Like you typically get like your big tub of the powder, or you can buy the drinks pre-made, and it's only about £30 plus your shipping. But then you get 10% off with my code, and it all seems like a very great idea. And yeah, I'm happy to still say I've got a sponsorship of some kind, and yeah, pretty much. So a bit of what I've covered the basis of what's coming up and kind of why I haven't been able to make content yet, plus my sponsorship, but that is everything from me for now. I hope this hasn't been too long, droning on as such. But I appreciate if anyone does watch the video, and I look forward to seeing you in the future with more videos. Thanks, everyone.